All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got another Chart Talk coming at you. It is Tuesday, January 17th. We got the holiday shortened week, and it is Tuesday, and the market is trading at a major inflection point. I've never seen the S&P 500 chart so pure, just so pure of a moment jam-packed of buyers versus sellers. So without further ado, let me get into it. You got any quick stories for the kids, or you want to just get into it?
No, let's get into it.
All right. So clearly, this is the S&P 500 chart right here, the SPY. This is the downtrend that began at the beginning of last year in January. And if you notice, it's made a very obvious resistance trend line. Every time we've come into the trend line, it's been a cue for a major sell-off. For the first time, each time we sell off, lower low, sell off, lower low, touch the trend line, lower low, touch the trend line, lower low, touch the trend line, higher low. So this consolidation right here kicking in shows us did something change. So now we're at a huge inflection point. There's all these different news catalysts you can look at, but right now it's all about just buyers and sellers action. I don't care if the recession happens tomorrow. I don't care if it doesn't happen at all. All that matters in the next week or two is how buyers and sellers treat this 400 area. If buyers win this battle, they're going to bid this SPY, and then the sellers are trapped. So if buyers win this battle, we're seeing SPY 430. Buyers lose this battle, we're seeing SPY 360. It's very simple for me in that regard, and that's kind of how I'm handling the action. So what I'm looking for, and we usually start this off with news and blah blah blah, but this is just like very pure buyers versus sellers right here. So what we want to see, if we want this to break out to the upside, the longer this stays up here in the 400 area, the better. It's just powering up. We need the bulls to just power up right here, go sideways, and then explode the S&P higher. If we just fail this area, expect another breakdown. But if we sit here and go sideways a little bit, even this whole week, if we did nothing and just went sideways, that would be great news. So, I mean, that's what I'm watching in the broad market. We got rates maybe pivoting. We're looking at this 3.5 level. And it's funny. It's like, stocks are at a huge inflection point, the same as the 10 years at a huge inflection point. Rates break higher, you have to think the S&P is going to break lower. Rates break lower, you have to think the S&P is going to break higher. Kind of simple in that regard. And then last piece of news is we got earnings season. This is a great time, first quarter earnings season. Great time to wait around for setups. We had the banks report last week, and they usually trade in pretty lockstep. But we're going to hear the same thing. So this is Bank of America. They had a big move. Goldman, very surprising, came out this morning. Let me bring these earnings up. Ugly report. And then, this is what we should expect pretty much with every report this quarter. They're going to blame the financial conditions. They're going to blame inflation. Consumer sentiment is too high for, what's going on in the broad market and things like that. You're just going to hear the same thing. Interest rates, inflation. That's right. Interest rates, inflation, pretty much. Broad sense. Goldman Sachs Q4 earnings drop as tighter financial conditions bite. So, I'm not really as concerned about the earnings as much as I am with the reaction. So the earnings numbers weren't good. They were down 16% revenue year over year, but the fact that they sold off down 7%, that's the news that we got to be concerned about. So definitely watching the earnings names going forward. But that's it. Would like to reiterate that, it's all about how buyers and sellers in the S&P handle this area. So what are you thinking over there, Ben? By the way, I love the background today. Love it. The butterfly pick, that's nice.
This is office number 3 of this year.
The problems with being a real estate mogul,
you're homeless half the time.
You're over leveraged and you don't have a home for yourself.
Well, I do have a home, but it's in use. But again,
there's a saying out there. You see a rich real estate guy. I see a poor like cash flowing or like low cash flowing person, just over levered. All right, forget it.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
All right, so we got, again, you touched on the SPY. Even like StockTwits was posting that chart, like that major inflection point.
Everyone's looking at it.
Yeah,
it's no surprise. It's no secret. You're not getting any edge. It's what you do in the next week or two after it makes its move. That's what matters.
Yeah, I think again a lot of the sectors last week went on just insane runs, taking a lot of the trades away this week. Look at the small caps here. We look. I guess it was 2 weeks ago we were buying up off through this support. And now up here in resistance, it looks amazing. It looks good because it's ran up, but this is not the time to really like go super hard when you're buying 6-7 days up in a near vertical, breakout. We saw it with the mid caps. We saw that with pretty much all the sectors that are out there except for healthcare. Healthcare is the only sector that has not really just played any ball in this recent breakout the last week or two, or basically the start of this new year. So keep an eye on healthcare to see if they're going to play any bit of catch up. It's been interesting.
I found that really interesting when I was going through charts this weekend, how healthcare was just zero relative strength after showing so much. I was looking at your boy Humana, and the chart is so puzzling. It's like, it has this amazing breakout. Right. There's the amazing breakout. Then look at it after. It just dies. It's like, it's a very puzzling chart for it to break out that hard for those few days that, up whatever it was. And then to just, give all the gains back so quickly and drastically.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like one of these meme stocks that's going up and down. It's like a Humana that's been in the bull flag it's a weekly bull flag, finally breaks and then just gives it all up. It's just kind of puzzling. Yeah. And, you see that kind of across healthcare as a sector.
Yeah, so healthcare is, again, the only one that's really kind of lagging here. Everything else is kind of like a broken record where all the sectors had pulled into a base and are all breaking out of that base in some capacity, running into major resistance. So for this week, like you said, if it's a nothing week, it could be good. But most of these sectors have gone so far so quickly in the last week or two that, it just definitely needs some consolidations. But broadly, I still think we see higher prices. I think a lot of the sectors are kind of shaping up and showing us that we can, but it might not be this week or the next. So, especially because everyone's looking at this inflection point where like everyone wants it to happen to like soon, and the market's always just like, we're not going to do that. So it's like we'll push it up a little bit, we'll flush it lower, we'll just frustrate everyone as much as we can, and when everyone's annoyed, we'll sneak it higher or lower.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's my little take on that. And any top ideas you want to go over? Good and bad.
Yeah, trades? I'm looking at a few different things. I'll go over a couple trades I had, and I was telling you before this, the goal really for me this year is to just cut down on the trading and only take my favorite ideas. So I've only taken 4 trades this year, 4 like size trades. Mm-hmm. We touched on this one last week. I bought the SPY coming out of this consolidation. I ended up selling it mostly Tuesday right here into this day right here. Before the jobs report. What was last Thursday? CPI, before CPI. So before this day, I didn't want in these previous episodes, I talked about how I wanted to position myself for the move that, is kind of happening. But then, when I was in the trade, we've been in such a singles and doubles market. And really what changed it for me was this day right here, this Monday, where it just like came in my face. So,
what did it do?
Where stocks dropped, my position was coming against me, and I quickly saw my gains negated, and then we got that push up the next 2 days, and I was able to sell into that, and it kind of reminded me we're in the singles and doubles market, and then this MEDP, this is just like the perfect trigger for us, and if this is a trending bull market, I bought this 210 right here. Stop at low day below 210. I bought 215, so 5-point risk. And we ended up scaling out of the move completely on day 2 right here. Now, if this is a trending market, we're seeing bull flags breakout. That's when we hold some of this position. We're not seeing that yet. So if this wants to break out and go higher without me, that's fine. But I need to see 10 of these happen before I start holding these. You distracted me so much with that blurry background. I need to see 10 of these pretty much across a couple sectors before I start trusting them and really holding them. So those are the 2 winners I had. There's QSR. I gave up on, but it looks pretty good. I know guys are still in this. It was kind of like once I have my winners and I'm unsure about this area in the market, I'm being conservative right now. So this is the area we want to see hold up to 66.25. We want to see that turn to new support, and then push higher up to that 68. And there's AMLX is another one that I know a bunch of people are in. Still looks good. Got people up in the green today. 37.50 is that trigger. Now you want to see it push up higher through its inside day highs. So those are the fewer names I'm looking at. Those are a few names that triggered lately. We like this CVX coming into the day. I didn't buy it because it triggered right off the open again. I'm trying to be super selective this year. And this is triggered 2 seconds off the open, but this is off to a great start. Oil's been strong. These names look like they have another move to highs. And if you look at leaders like Exxon, they're already at highs. So you want to see that CVX continue from here. There's a couple names I'm watching, like this FICO. It's a really nice chart. The only problem is that, it's so thin. It only trades about 200,000 shares a day. But if I see some sideways action in this area, let these moving averages catch up, maybe I'll take some through 640. And then a name I would really like to focus in on is this PODD. So on a short-term front, let's look at this earnings flag. Boom. Has earnings. Name explodes on earnings. Closes 23% higher on this day. What's it do ever since then? It's just been flagging out. It's just been holding, for the most part, holding this upper level. Now, if we zoom out, we see, go to a weekly chart, we can see this thing's a huge cup and handle. Where's that curve line at? So you can see on the long-term front, huge cup and handle, explosive move to create this flagpole. Now it's flagging. Now when this next time it breaks that 320 to the upside, that's when we want to get involved. So right now I'm just staring at this daily chart, watching this improve. We want to see this just get really, really tight below this area and give us an entry through highs. But mostly waiting on earnings. That's really it out of me. Yeah. Keeping the watch list tight. I'm having a very, very strict kind of watch list or I'm trying to going forward. I used to make watch lists of like 500 names and be like, this might set up, this might set up. I'm just cutting all the BS out that I don't really care about. I think I'll never trade, and focusing on the real, really nice charts, MEDP, like those. So
yeah,
you got it from here.
That MEDP was, I think that was a really good example. Just like a lot of kind of the end of last year was we're trading the range. We're trying to buy off support, sell the resistance. That's exactly what that trade was. Perfectly.
Well, we had so many trades last year that were towards the end of last year, and the bull market was ending, where it would be like, I think SRPT was one, and there were a few different these like therapeutic names, whatever it was, where it would break out to the top end of the channel. And we were so used to these things proliferating to the upside, and giving further gains, that we ended up just giving them completely back. Now, after a year in this bear market, we're just taking that gain and selling it. I ended up getting 4-1 in 2 days, so you can't be mad at that.
Yeah. Only two that I'm really looking at for this week is this Adobe.
I saw these look good. These were off my radar. They look pretty good.
Yeah. So, and more so even today, like it ticked that 350, came right back, super tight, and it's like it's gonna try it again, even better. So, and again, super. A couple days here, just very tight. I'm not gonna give this verse 330, but give it $10. 3%. Turn it on name, not that bad. And this INTU. We saw this like kind of little wedge breakout up here or down here, and now it's just basing out super tight here. Another little entry to buy up through 400 versus 380. We're seeing a couple percent for that move to 440. Those are two I'm keeping an eye on. Positions. I'm still in that QSR with you, or I was. I guess you're not.
Yeah. I chickened out. It looks pretty good though. Yeah.
So I moved it. I had the stop originally 65. This close today looks not the best. So I'm definitely not looking to lose any money in this. So I have a break-even stop for this. Again, stopped out, not the end of the world. The CTVA will probably look to take some profits tomorrow. Again, simple little, buying up through that little base, nice couple dollar move. Court was a pretty, this one was pretty surprising so far. Again, same thing, looking for these bases, looking to buy up through the break of the bases. This Court, bought 21, 50 cents risk, very tight. Great 3-day move, took some profits on Friday, and keeping, really the target short term is really into this like 23 half area.
That's pretty sick. 6-1 there.
Yeah. So again, for now, I sold half on Friday, and keeping an eye to see if it's going to break through this. If not, this is kind of the area where I'll be looking to take some profits. Again, in that AMLX, it hasn't done much yet. Just kind of sitting with it with a stop under 36, and then got in this MRNA on Friday. And just prior low day stop, first 180, looking for moving to that 210. So couple swings going on, but again for this week it was like I feel like everything was really breaking out last week, and now it's like I'm not surprised there's not that many ideas because most are just breaking out last week.
Yeah, I was doing the newsletter this weekend. I was very surprised at how little charts I really had to talk about, because it was like, all right, the market's at highs, the market just went on a nice 4 or 5 day run. Usually this is when we see a million setups And then we're like, be cautious. This has been a red flag for the past year and a half. I didn't even find that many setups looking around this weekend. I was just surprised to see. I looked at our alerts. We had about 20 alerts go off last week. So, that makes sense in that regard. It's like most of the names already went type thing.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so we'll see going forward in this 400 area.
Only other thing, I guess, on our end is again, we've been getting some pretty good feedback on these hoodies. Let me see if I can pull my share screen really quick. See, we made these 3 hoodies. We got the camo. Nope. We got the new vintage camo. And then we have everyone who likes this black one, the black camo.
Yeah.
So again, we're taking some pre-orders for those, $39 each or $99 for all 3. Just gotta let us know what size you want and which colors. And then we'll get those shipped out. We'll also eventually make a t-shirt, probably closer to the spring. And that's really it on my end. Oh, and then we got
Who do I got to pay around here to not have everything be camo?
gotta give me. I mean, I'm not here doing this by myself. You gotta send me some colors if you want. And
Oh, now you're doing it by yourself, huh?
I
Okay.
mean, well, you just said, okay. We retract that statement. Also, we got which audiobook just published. We got step 5 and 6 published, and then 7's on the way for the audiobooks. So again, anyone who wants those, let us know, and we can send you guys those free downloadable links for the audiobooks. So why can't we do like a white one like the cardigan you're wearing?
Yeah, that's cream,
That
baby.
is-
It's 60s cream. Pause, god damn it. All right, let's get out. Let's get out of here. All right, until further ado, catch you guys next week. Hopefully, the spies at 420. See you.